My name is Maria Sigle. I am the author of the Marley Parker book series. Well, I'm from Springfield, Illinois originally. I started writing in college and nothing really came to fruition until recently in the last several years. I've always had an idea of what I wanted to write about, but it was always sort of too big for me at the time. And then once I grew up and finished school and had kids, it was a lot easier for me to format those ideas. Marlee Parker, there's a lot more to it than meets the eye. It's, it's easy to say, oh, it's about a teenage sleuth sort of following in the footsteps of Nancy Drew kind of style. Well, my favorite genre is mystery, suspense, thriller. So I like to read something personally that's going to keep me excited and interested and guessing. And for me, that's definitely this genre, and that's what my series does. I wanted to create something for my daughters in particular, someone to have as a role model when they grew up. There's so much negativity out there and so much ugliness out there, especially for younger people, to look up to and to follow. And I wanted a positive role model who, at the end of the day, always does the right thing. She has morals, she has values, but she's an overachiever, and she's great at school. She's an athlete. She's popular. She's all of these things that every girl should really strive for. Her character evolves from sort of an innocent, seemingly innocent anyway, college student into this really pretty awesome woman. She becomes a pretty tough cookie. Well, at first it just started off as sort of a lighthearted, fun beach read. No one's ever going to read this. I'll read it myself, and maybe my kids will read it one day. And then in the process of doing that, I just became so in love with the writing itself and creating these characters and being able to control these people, like these characters, like puppets, it's so exciting to me. And then the more serious I became about it. And as you know, you can kind of see that throughout my books. It evolves from this lighthearted sort of comedy, sort of mystery to this more intensive story. So I changed along with it. I have gotten a lot of good feedback. It's a learning process for me. This is my first book, first series. So in my mind, I'm doing this as sort of an experiment to learn. It's a learning process, and then eventually lead up to some bigger things. I started off with my own television show on Fox, local Fox, when I was 19, so I was still in college. And I was the Fox Kids Club host for Saturday morning cartoons. And it was so much fun. So nothing similar to Marley, but I wasn't solving any mysteries. I was entertaining kids during the cartoon breaks. That evolved into my own television show, into the adult programming, to doing weather and reporting different events around town. I was sort of the fun go-to girl for the exciting events around town, and I absolutely loved it. It was probably the most exciting time of my life. And all the while I was in school full time and working so hard, but that's where the idea for Marley came from. Was this girl who's just such a hard worker and so goal-oriented and overachieving, and she wants to accomplish as much as she can in this short period of time. And so that's where the idea came from, and like I said, it's just sort of taken off. I had always been told to write what you know, and that was one of the best pieces of advice I've ever received as a writer, because if you write what you know, it's more sincere. There's more value and more feeling in it. Draw from your own personal experiences, and don't be intimidated, and don't back down, because there are millions and millions of writers out there, and it's very easy to get caught up in doubting yourself and comparing yourself. And just do it for yourself, if nobody else. Even if no one reads it, write something for yourself to have. That's my best piece of advice. I'm working on a few different projects. They've all been in the works for years, but eventually they'll get finished. One is a series of children's books that help with anxiety before bedtime. I know I have 3 kids, and some of them, get the nighttime jitters and they want to hear something funny before they go to bed. So along with my kids, we're developing this series of children's books to help ease those anxieties before bed that are hysterically funny and half written by my children. So I have those in the works. I also have another new series that I've started. It's called Amity Brown. And Amity is sort of the antithesis of Marley. So it's a completely different angle, completely different outlook. Everything is different. Marley, the character of Marlee Parker, started off as this, innocent, very sweet girl who over the course of 3 books changed into a very strong, very dynamic, fearless woman. And the opposite goes for Amity. She's a little bit older, a little wild. She doesn't have the same morals that Marley had. She's, you'll have to read it. She's a lot different. And then in the process of the series, she changes and sort of goes to the lighter side and becomes a better person. So in my opinion, it's all about characters evolving and becoming the best versions of themselves.